Dr. Cordate here with a song about Isaac Newton, one of the people credited with the founding of modern science. Although, as he is famously quoted as saying, "If I have seen farther than other men, it is because I have stood on the shoulders of giants." And now in the 17th century, Isaac had kind of a rough go of it in the beginning. His father died shortly before he was born, and so he was raised for a time by his grandparents. His mother did remarry to a man with a relatively large estate, and pretty much their only interest in Isaac was that he grow up to be able to run the family farm. And so they sent him to school, but he didn't seem to be smart enough to handle the things that needed to be done to manage the farm. So they kept sending him to school and sending him to school. And finally, he ended up at Cambridge University in London. And then a plague came along and shut down most of London, including the university. So Isaac went back to the family farm. And then over the next couple of years, while he was laying around, and he was still in his early 20s, he became one of those people who make you realize how little you've accomplished with your life. He came up with the Law of Universal Gravitation and many of the principles governing the laws of motion and optics. He invented a reflecting telescope and studied biology, and because the mathematics of the time was not good enough to do analyze some of the things he was thinking about, he also invented the calculus. Now, this is the Ballad of Sir Isaac Newton and the Three Laws of Motion. 360 years ago, Sir Isaac Newton napped beneath the branches of an apple tree. A big old rotten apple fell and Isaac's head was whapped, and he woke up and said, "By gravity." Sometimes it takes a head whapping to give you a notion. Now Isaac, he went home and wrote down 3 laws of motion. Well, Sir Isaac Newton, he knew a ton of stuff about how the laws of motion make things move about, and it hit him on the crown and it nearly knocked him down. But it left his brainy thoughts without a doubt. Yes, it left his brainy thoughts without a doubt. The first law of motion, inertia it is called, is that our body tends to stay the course, with or without motion or in a straight line, till acted on by some unbalanced force. Until some forces push or pull, a body stays in place, and starting up's a problem that all bodies have to face. The second law of motion, as everybody knows, concerns a body in acceleration. A force pushes a mass, F equals ma. I know that you remember that equation. Now when you have 2 masses, the biggest one goes slow, and the bigger that the force is, the faster things will go. The third law of motion, most famous of them all, says for every action in this universe, an equal and opposite reaction occurs, which could be a blessing or a curse. Because if you land hard upon some rocky ground, the rocks also hit hard your body all around, and it matters not whether the bones hit the stones or the stones hit the bones. It's going to be bad for the bones. But if you treat the world with a kind and gentle hand, the world treats you gently back, and everything is grand. Well, Sir Isaac Newton, he knew a ton of stuff about how the laws of motion make things move about, and it hit him on the crown and it nearly knocked him down. But it left his brainy thoughts without a doubt. Yes, it left his brainy thoughts without a doubt.